In the first phase, PSG started with a short passes from the goal kick. In the first phase, Riyadh were in the 4-4-2 formation and was pressing with front two. In the first phase, PSG used double pivots and they were Renato Sanchez and Fabian Ruiz. PSG's pivots were operating behind Riyadh's front line. Riyadh's front two were maintaining central and narrow position, and Riyadh's front two were not pressing PSG's centre backs. So PSG's centre backs had time and space to distribute the ball. Riyadh's front two were not pressing PSG's backline, and on the other hand, with PSG having double pivots, when Riyadh's front two were holding central position, PSG's pivots could easily split and receive the ball behind Riyadh's front line. In the first phase, Riyadh's midfield consisted of 4 players and Riyadh's midfield was not doing high pressing and they were defending little deep. So when PSG's pivot were receiving the ball behind Riyadh's front line, PSG's pivot had time to turn after receiving the ball. So in this way, PSG were bypassing Riyadh's initial pressure line. After PSG bypassed Riyadh's initial line, Riyadh had no midfielders to apply this lighter pressure on PSG's pivot. Now PSG had bypassed Riyadh's initial line and PSG's pivot were driving the ball. And on the other hand, PSG's two midfielders were positioned in the half space zone and had no chance to stop PSG's pivot. So while PSG's pivot were receiving the ball behind the first line, Riyadh's center midfielder were forced to press PSG's pivots. Riyadh's left center midfielder was ready to press PSG's right pivot when PSG's right pivot received the ball, and while PSG's left pivot was receiving the ball, Riyadh's right center midfielder was ready to press PSG's left pivot. You can see here when PSG's right pivot received the ball, Riyadh's left center midfielder was ready to press Renato Sanchez when PSG's right pivot received the ball, but then the right half space was opening. When PSG were building the game, two of PSG's forward drop in and here they are position. You can see here their position were in the half space zone. Messi was ready to receive the ball by dropping in the half space between the lines. Messi was free in the half space due to the commitment of Riyadh's left center midfielder on pivot. Now Riyadh's left central midfielder is out of position, so Riyadh's left back was being forced to track back Messi and space was being created in the right channel. Now let's talk about Neymar's role. Neymar's role was also similar to that of Messi. Neymar was dropping in midfield and holding his position in the half space because the position of this midfielder of Riyadh was wide. So when Neymar was receiving the ball in midfield, Riyadh's fullback was forced to track back Neymar. Riyadh's backline was facing 3 versus 3 situation when fullback was committed to Neymar. On the paper, Carlos Soler was playing as a central midfielder, but he was converting to a forward role when PSG were building the game. Carlos Soler's position was high, so he was engaging Riyadh's backline. Carlos Soler's central handling allowed Mbappe to drift wide. So when PSG dropped one forward, PSG still had 3 forwards with Carlos Soler. You can see Riyadh's fullback was committed to Neymar, so Riyadh's fullback was out of position, leaving the left wide channel open for Mbappe, and Riyadh were facing 3 versus 3 situation in transition. In open play, PSG back 4 with 2 pivots. In open play, both PSG's fullback were pushing high. PSG's fullback were dragging down Riyadh's wide midfielder due to the PSG's fullback pushing high. Now Riyadh's wide midfielder were deep, so half space was open, and Messi was ready to drop in the half space. Now the position of Riyadh's frontman was central and narrow, so Riyadh's front line was not able to cover Messi, and on the other hand, the Riyadh midfielder was deep, so Messi had time and space to receive the ball. As we discussed, Carlos Soler was transitioning from midfielder to forward role, so PSG were left 3 forwards even with Messi dropped in. Now Carlos Soler and Neymar were in position in the half space, so they were forcing Riyadh's fullback to defend narrowly. Now Messi right hand meant extra protection and Hakimi had license to push high into the channel. Carlos Soler operating in the half space was forcing Riyadh's fullback to defend narrowly. So while Messi was attempting a pass, the PSG's fullback was free in the right channel to receive the ball.